My first question for the two of you is about approaching somebody as an individual, as a living being, instead of approaching them as kind of a conglomeration of different symptoms. It's something that I've noticed that you guys are really good at. And I wonder if you could talk to chiropractors and students about how you do that and what that looks like.
You want me to go?
Yeah.
I think the first thing that we do is that I'm not going to pretend like I don't recognize their symptom, because I don't want them to think anything they're coming in with doesn't matter to me, because it does matter to me. And I don't want you to have those symptoms, and I don't want your body to be expressing itself like that. And so I think one of the things we do is I will definitely address it, but then being a chiropractor, you always have to take it deeper. And all of us know it's not the symptom. It's never been the symptom, right? And so even when you look at the subluxation, even that in itself can be a symptom. So when you start talking thoughts and traumas and toxins and you start taking it deeper, I think as long as you can help them wrap their head around that it's all an expression of how their body or their mind or how they're responding to their environment. But the hard part is making that connection.
Yeah, and do you primarily do that, in the session with the person themselves? You do offer educational opportunities, or how does that education process take place in your office?
Yeah, it's a great question. Like Dr. Ashley said, it's, everyone's at a different place in their life, and your body is just an expression of where you're at and what you're going through, and the body's dynamic. So to kind of feed on what she said is that the body's always in a state of flux between one end, which is death, and one end, which is life. We just want to spend more time on the end of life. And the best way to do that is to tap into the system that controls everything, which, as we know, is the nervous system. And one of the things where we miss out with Western medicine is they completely, like you said, they dissect the body into different parts. And they completely miss the whole aspect of where healing comes from. And virtually every single patient or person who comes into our office has absolutely been told that their body does not masterfully work within that system that we speak of in chiropractic. And they've been told a different story. So you mentioned education, and education is everything to our patients.
Yeah.
And to our future of helping change the world. And we have to hold each other accountable as chiropractors, but more importantly, on the day-to-day aspect of clinic and work, we have to transform people's thinking, which is not easy, right? It's a paradigm shift.
Yeah. I think with what you're asking, I mean, the first day you see someone, you sit down with them, I'm not going to say 100% feed into everything that they're saying, like feed in totally. But I think understanding where they're coming from and then planting your first seed that this could be deeper than just superficially what you're seeing right here. And I think when you just plant those little seeds kind of the first day, the second day, the third day, we go through an entire honeymoon period with our patients when they first start. We call it the honeymoon. And every day it's a seed that's planted about looking at this deeper.
Right. And it even starts on the phone. When the person calls in, we're already dropping these gems on the phone with our scripting to make sure that the person automatically knows, whoa, this is going to be different, but this is not going to be something different that I don't want. This is going to be different, and I feel like this is my opportunity for my breakthrough. And that happens from the very first phone call that they make. We have to make sure that we're educating them and we're giving them opportunities to get to the bottom of what makes them them. So education never stops.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be calling you on the phone. I hope you guys realize that, and I'm going to pick up some of those gems. And I'm so glad you brought in the garden analogy. I feel like so often I hear kind of this analogy of like, oh, the chiropractor is like a mechanic and you just bring your car in and they hook you up the diagnostics. And I like that analogy, But I love this analogy of like the law of the harvest, and that you're planting these seeds, and that over time, those seeds grow into great big plants, and then you harvest the fruits of those plants if you continue to work with a dynamic system in the way that you guys are working with the system. So I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, and we got to meet people where they're at. You know, we talk about this all the time. People seek you out for being a chiropractor for a specific reason, but the reason that we're able to help people might be completely different from the reason that they called us.
Yeah.
Right? Doc, I got low back pain. Okay, cool. You have low back pain, but you have a serious disconnect, and we need to make sure that we mature that relationship with them so that we can start to help them understand that it goes a little bit deeper than that, and we can then transform their life instead of just cover up a symptom.
Yeah.